The second part of the question was, what advice would you give to Khuddam in terms of exercising after Fajr prayers?
The same. Please.
Assalamu alaikum, Hazur. Hazur, how can local Qaideen motivate and activate Khuddam in general to participate more in the activities of Majlis Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya and the Jamaat?
What else I am doing? This is my business. In my khutbah, in my efforts, in my advices to Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya, in their efforts to pursue what I tell. This is what they want to achieve. See? And you don't know it. You see a verse which I very often quote as a line, Jane na jane, gul hi na jane, baag to sara jane hai. The whole world knows this and you do not know. While as a khadim you should have realized it. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Hazur.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Hazur, I've got 3 or maybe 4 questions if you'll allow me.
3 or maybe 4. 3.
Okay. Hazur, the first question stems from an answer you gave 2 weeks ago in a question and answer session relating to the Iranian Revolution. There was a guest of mine who was a friend of mine who had to leave Iran in 1980 as a result of the revolution, and he says that from friends and family that he knows, there was American CIA people in the 60s already plotting to to change the power base in Iran from then on. And he says that in his opinion, it wasn't the common people who embraced Islam and who wanted to change things for the good of the people, but it was America who who gave the arms and the guns and the money to the fanatist medievalists.
You see, he has referred to the origin of Khomeinism and how it developed. In fact, this conspiracy was hatched by American intelligence forces, and the field where it was hatched was France, not directly America. So they had decided to destroy Shah of Iran for many reasons, oil being one of those, but so many other reasons. They thought Shah of Iran was walking out of their spell.
Towards communism as well.
And was raising his head to become independent. And he had built a reputation in the East among the Muslims to be a power to be reckoned with. And Bhutto, etc., all ran to Iran, to Shah of Iran, paid their homage to him, not to Saudi Arabia as much at that time, then to Iran. So this is a general background in which they had decided to cultivate a plot to destroy Iran, Shah of Iran, and they could best employ the religious sentiments of Iran to do this. As such, all the cassettes, etc., were prepared and multiplied in Paris, in France, not necessarily Paris, but in France. And from there, they were sent out to Iran and distributed. So once the mullah was successful in throwing the Shah of Iran, then they decided not to hand over the power to America. They said, why not we? And because the power base was religious fanaticism, so they further strengthened their power base by becoming more fanatic. When fanaticism is the power base, like now it is happening in Afghanistan, then if you strengthen your base, you strengthen fanaticism. The one and the same thing with two titles. So this is what happened in Iran in those days. And unfortunately, when this was done, then America had other ways and means to have Iranian revolution destroyed. First of all, they were happy with in the sense that they were destroying Islam. By promoting fanaticism, naturally they were destroying. So they could use this revolution to condemn Islam in foreign countries. That is what they have been doing. And internally, they were utilizing the reaction to such despotism as was exercised by Shia extremists. So both ways, they well employed it. And this is a game of politics and a game of trickstery and a game of plotting, etc., in which American CIA excels the whole world. It beats the whole world in this game.
Okay.
So he is basically right.
But then wasn't America scared of Islam?
Pardon?
Wasn't America worried that the Islamic countries would unite and then they
I've already said what I wanted to say. Think over it again,
okay.
please.
So my second question is relating to something that you've talked on a few times on understanding with relation to the Quran. You've said that if you've read the Quran and haven't understood it, then you can't be condemned for not accepting it. Is that right?
No. That's the problem of understanding. If you misconstrue something, then you're responsible for that. But in the case of the Holy Quran, the matter is very simple. There are two different aspects of the Quran. One deals with the law and Sharia, which is very simple. Do's and do nots. So if basically you do whatever the Holy Quran requires you to do and abstain from doing what the Holy Quran wants you to abstain from, then it is a very simple matter. You can carve your life out of the instructions of the Holy Quran without understanding it in depth. The second part of understanding is to be able to understand the wisdom behind these instructions of the Quran. That part, if you do not properly understand, is not important as far as you act upon what the Holy Quran says. But if you do not understand and insist on imposing your understanding upon the Quran, then you will be held wrong and answerable in the sight of Allah. Third
question. So my third question is with respect to how does one avoid humility becoming insecurity?
Humility?
Becoming insecurity. Insecurity is a bad thing, and humility is a good thing.
Good.
So but they're quite there's a grey area.
The best defense of humans lies in humility. So this is security. I don't know what you have in mind when you ask this question, but humility is the best security. If you're humble, you're secure from everything. And that humility would lead you to obtaining protection from God as well. Because if you're truly humble, you will turn to Allah, declaring Him to be the only source of wisdom and knowledge. As such, He gives you a sort of cover and protects you against those who are greater than you in wisdom.